Hi guys, and welcome back to Gabriel's Rainbow Array. I thought I'd make a video talking about my language learning experiences, how long I've been learning languages, and all the languages I have a little bit or a lot of or the most experience in and everything. So I've been learning languages. I kind of want to change that my whole life, but when I started learning other languages than my native language, English, I started like 16 or 17 years old, my 10th grade year of high school. And I say 16 or 17 because I was a year behind in high school. I failed second grade. So around that time is when I started learning Spanish. But I'm a native English speaker, but then I started learning, I'm going in order from most knowledgeable of to least knowledgeable of. So there's English, obviously I'm a native English speaker. I can speak English very well, C2, obviously, as a native speaker. Then there's Spanish. I would say I'm a rusty C1 or like a very mid B2, you know? So, like, hablo español, mi nombre es Gabriel. Hablo porque mi abuelita dice, quiero mis gran hijos a aprender español y mi corazón, it would mean the world to my heart. That's kind of like what she was telling us growing up. So when opportunity came around for me to learn Spanish in high school, I actually tried getting into it in ninth grade. That I could take all 4 years. And then they told me in Abilene High, the first high school I went to, that because the freshman classes are so crowded and you're disabled, I have cerebral palsy and I walk with a limp, that they didn't want me to be a fall risk or anything. And because the freshman classes are so crowded, they're going to wait time in 10th grade a little bit taller, a little bit stronger, a little bit bigger to put me in Spanish 1 course. So I never learned it in ninth grade. But I really wanted to, and I didn't know this at the time, but it would come back to bite me, the fact that I didn't, because when I got to my senior year of high school, 12th grade, I learned that you get chords for courses of high school. You complete, like, if you complete the whole course of, oh my gosh, sorry, I spit. Oh, that's also one of my cerebral palsy too. But I also just have a lot of spit in my mouth. You get like these cords. They're like ropes, and they're like leather or something. And you get these cords that you can complete. Like if you complete all of the food course, like the culinary arts course, you can get a culinary arts cord in high school. And I wanted my Spanish cord. I asked my teacher how much is it to buy the Spanish cord because I was in Spanish 3 in my senior year. And she said, oh, you have to be in, I buy it for my kids. I buy them the cord if they complete the course. But you have to be in Spanish 4, and I felt so defeated. It was literally the only cord I wanted. But moving on to my next language, but that's just a PSA show. That's just some young high schoolers so they can know, like, look up high school chords, like, for graduation, and so they can really consider if they want some or not. And if you want your language chords, go for that course ninth grade. You're like, push for it. I didn't push for it because I thought at least I'll get up to Spanish 3, and I didn't know about chords till my senior year. I did not know junior year. So, like, you know, show this to high school or something, you know? But then there's Japanese. I started learning Japanese in, I think, my senior year of high school, and I was really intimidated by kanji. I know a little bit of sentences, but I would say it's a rusty, dusty, crusty A1 level. I know a few small sentences from Duolingo, like, watashi wa sensei this, like, you know, shit like that. Very, very basic, minimal sentences. But I do know, like a lot of random words, like, ao, mochiron, I hope my accent doesn't sound too Mexican or something in Japanese. I don't know how it sounds. I've tried to imitate the Japanese accent really well, but I haven't been in practice of it here lately, so it probably sounds like Mexican or something. Sorry for the drool. Like I said, it's part of my cerebral palsy, so. But there's also Esperanto. It's my only constructed language. Like, as a constructed language, that basically just means that somebody created the language rather than that language naturally evolving from older languages, like in proto languages, you know. It was a constructed language, like somebody sat down and created it, like High Valerian, or like the one from Hunger Games, or not Hunger Games, Game of Thrones, or is it Game of Thrones? I think that's the High Valerian one, but I'm not sure. No, that might be. Oh, what? The Witcher? No, what's it called? I think it's Game of Thrones High Valyrian. I'm not sure, but it's a constructed language. Like it wasn't naturally occurring. Somebody created it. I know a lot of random Esperanto words, but I really could not string two sentences together. It's been years and years since I studied. I was doing really well in Duolingo, and I looked at the YouTube channel, The American Esperantist, and I would rewatch all his videos because he only had a finite amount of videos that I would go back through and rewatch, and I had like Esperanto dictionaries pulled up. Like I was actually so into learning it. It was so fun because it was easy for me as an English speaker, and it was a phonetic language as well. Being a constructed language is most likely going to be phonetic. But there's Esperanto. Moving on to languages I have even less experience in. Like I could probably speak in Esperanto if I practiced a little more, and I could speak in Japanese if I practiced a little more, like say sentences back and forth. You know, like watashi wa dieru desu. Like that's my Japanese name that I picked out for myself. Dieru, because Gabu Dieru, Gabriel, that's my name. Gabu Dieru or Gabedu. So I thought like Dieru, like D-E-do, you know? So that's my Japanese name I picked out for myself. But like I could speak since here and there with Esperanto and Japanese, and then I do speak like decent Spanish. Like I can understand my great grandma, which was the end goal of why I wanted to learn Spanish, because my great grandma was like, I want my grandkids to learn Spanish, and like so they could teach their grandkids and they could teach their grandkids. So I learned for her, and that's what kickstarted my whole language learning journey, was learning Spanish. I'm very proud of my English level. It's very fluent and very like I read a lot. I read a lot of books. I read a lot of internet online stories. I read a lot of Wattpad. I read a lot of Stephen King, Sarah J. Maas, you know, whoever. So I'm very proud of my English level. But there's also Chinese and Korean. I know very little Hangul. I didn't get past Hangul. I was learning Hangul, but then I kind of like fell out of it. I kind of can recognize what Korean sounds like, but I really have no idea of any words. Like I don't know what any of the words mean. And for Chinese, it's a little bit better than Korean. You would think it'd be the other way around because Chinese is supposed to be the hardest. But I know like cafe, binghulu, tanghulu. I know like meow meow meow, you know, stuff like that. Very few words, but it's a little bit better than Korean, because Korean, I don't know any Korean vocabulary words. I was just learning the Hangul at first, and then I never learned the like true words. But and then there is Polish and Swahili, Thai, and I forgot to write this one down. I'll show you my paper. I forgot to write that one down. There is Polish, Swahili, Thai, and Vietnamese. Those languages are languages I dabbled in for like a day, and my story with Swahili is like I was like I want to randomly learn a language, and I thought about Vietnamese, and then I was like, no, it's just not the vibe. I don't know if I can get the accent down good, because one of the things I always try to go for rather than even fluency is a good accent, because if you have a good accent, you can fake it to make it like cuando hablo español, mi acento es no problema. Mi acento está muy bien, mi acento está muy bueno, toda vieja. Like, I have a good accent when it comes to Spanish because I practice my accent a lot more than like vocabulario. You know what I mean? So like, but I try to nail a good accent. The Vietnamese accent was just so difficult for me to like wrap my head around. Like, and then but so then I pivoted to Swahili. I didn't write Vietnamese down because I completely forgot, but I'm just not remembering. So I'm drilling some more, so I don't want the camera on my mouth. But there's Polish. So I'm gay. This is Gabriel's Rainbow, right? You kind of know from my profile picture. But I was watching real short dramas, like from Real Short or Good Short or whatever. Even some of the AI Real Short videos. But, you know, Waterboy, Pool Boy. And then I was on Daily Motion, and then it recommended me this random movie, Red, Yellow, Pink, I think it's called. And when I was listening to it, I thought it was German. Like, it sounded like it was Germany. But I Googled it. I was like, what's the LGBT movie, Red, Yellow, Pink? language. I was like, what's the language? So it turned out to be Polish with a little bit of German in the movie because I thought the full language was German. And then I was like, should I learn Polish? So for like a whole 2 days or 3 days, I was looking at the Polish alphabet if it's phonetic because I tend to lean towards more phonetic languages. And that being said, I did learn a little bit of Chinese and Japanese. Not that they're not phonetic; they have a finite system of phonetics, but like as in phonetics, like the alphabet sounds the way it's spelled, you know. So really, only you can do that with languages that have alphabets, you know. Ones that have characters, some of the characters sound like multiple things. Like in Japanese or Chinese, there can be multiple pronunciations with the same kanji or I don't know what they're called in Chinese character. I don't know what they're called in Chinese. But there's that. So I was gonna learn Vietnamese, but then I pivoted to Swahili because I thought it sounded easier. And then there's Thai. Thai was specifically just for SOTUS, the series. I really love that show. It's so good. And it made me want to learn Thai, but at the time when I was watching it, I thought it was Lao. And then I googled it. It's actually Thai in that series. So there's that. Polish was from Red, Yellow, Pink, and then I genuinely gave it some thought. Like I even did a few journal entries about it in my daily journaling video, not video, but like in my daily journaling that I do every day, which I have not been keeping up with that well this month. But then there is the newest one that I'm thinking about getting into, and it's phonetic, which is making me happy because I prefer phonetic languages. They're just easier for me to grasp because it's like, okay, there's this character and it's pronounced like this. It'll always be pronounced like that, you know? So, wiping my mouth again. So that is, I don't know if you can see it right there at the bottom, but there's Icelandic, and I genuinely am thinking about getting into learning Icelandic. I thought for a second the video stopped, and I was like, why is this all? I thought my video was stopped, so it caught me off guard. But I'm genuinely thinking about getting into learning Icelandic. I don't know. I have no attachment to it, so like there's no motivation, you know, to say, oh, it's a personal motivation for it, kind of like with my great grandma in Spanish. Like, have a good motivation so you can keep up with it. But like, I just love languages and a little. I like this is something I will never say. I'll never say I will never say. I will never say I won't learn German because of what Hitler did. I won't learn. I'm trying to think of the name. Arabic because Arabics hate homosexuals. I'll never not learn Vietnamese because my grandpa served in the Vietnam War. You know, I want to be open to all languages unless I'm just not interested in that language because it's too difficult for me. I'm not vibing with it. I just didn't stick with it, but I know a little bit of that language, like little words, kind of like with me in Chinese, Bing Hulu, Tang Hulu, Cafe, Meo, whatever, you know. So I don't know, you know, like I want to keep an open mind, and I like, but the ones I truly speak, I would say, are a little bit of Japanese and then Spanish and English. So it'd be kind of cool if I could get it to four and learn like Icelandic. Like, I don't know though, but we'll see. I'll update you guys in like a month or something on this. But I thought about making a video just to introduce the fact that I might be learning Icelandic. Just because I was looking up a few videos like the alphabet, a few channels, and I was getting a few recommended reels after those searches from Paul's Lang Focus. And yeah, because I'm subscribed to him, so I was getting a few recommended short video, like real shorts, you know. But I think I'm gonna give the old culture. I'm gonna see if there's any anime dubbed in Icelandic. I don't know if there will be, but you know, something enjoyable that I could digest. Because like everybody always points out like Friends is dubbed in almost every language, but I didn't grow up watching Friends. I don't regularly watch Friends. I've never seen a full episode of Friends. And like one day I tried learning Spanish with Friends, like the show Friends, and I couldn't do it. It was so boring. I was like so turned off by the idea. I ended up watching House of Flowers, Casa de Flores, on Netflix, with like all the drama and tea and like Rebecca who killed herself, and then the husband was all sad, and his wife was like, "She was your mistress, you motherfucker," you know. So there's that. But like I didn't watch like anything too mainstream like Rosario Tijeras, or like I'm trying to think of some other ones. Any of the Selena stuff or like whatever. I watched a few Mexican comics and got some of their jokes, but like whatever. But I think I'm gonna genuinely give learning Icelandic a good try, but I don't know how it's gonna go because I don't have any like true like I want to learn Icelandic because it's my roots and my heritage, or like I want to learn Icelandic because it's for my boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, or I want to learn Icelandic because there's a job opportunity there because I don't have that deep rooted reason. I do wonder if I'll be able to stick with it long term. But I mean, I like having fun too, just like exploring, dipping my toes in. Like sometimes I'll literally do a random language generator, and when I've laid on a language that has enough resources, I'll try to learn some stuff, just for like one night for a few hours. Now, sometimes with those random language generators, I will get like a language that has like no resources. It's like, oh, this is only like the whistling language or something. Like, the language that's like the Mexican alphabet, but it's all whistling. I can't do that. Like, that was, I can't, and I have, like, I'm pretty sure, maybe. I was born a preemie, so I can't, there's no, like, that's not gonna happen for me. But I never want to say, I'm not going to learn that language because they're populated by black people. I'm never going to learn that language because gay is not legal in their country. Like, for a while, because I was watching Elise de Vega, I wanted to learn Georgian because I discovered Georgian through her channel, and I don't even know if she kept up with it. I haven't heard anything back from her channel, but I haven't been watching her videos lately. But I'm referencing an old video of hers. I wanted to learn Georgian because I saw the alphabet on her channel, and it looked so pretty. And I followed like a Georgian YouTube account that I still follow, even though gay marriage is not legal there, and they probably wouldn't be too welcoming to me visiting their country. Not that I'm ever gonna go out of the United States. But like, you know what I mean? I never want to say I'm gonna push this language away because they pushed me away. That's not who I want to be as a person. Like, that's not what I stand for. And I'm not bringing any political views talking about left, right, or Republican or Democrat. I'm just saying I don't want to say I tell this language no because they've told me no or they don't like disabled people or whatever. I genuinely want to give everything the chance to be fun and cool with language learning because it's such a big part of who I am, and it's recently a part of myself that I felt like I lost for such a long time. But then my great grandma came for a visit, who's still alive. She's 97. She'll be 98 this year. She makes her next birthday. But she'll be 98. But talking to her and struggling through it and just telling her the same things, she's starting to forget more and more, was so fun and so heartwarming, and just seeing the way she said things, like seeing what she called things versus what I called things, eating a donut with her. It was, and like talking to her and being like, oh no, you're like, I was telling her, she was like, ¿Dónde está Ángel? Where's Angel? And I was like, no, tú no eres con Ángel ahorita, eres con Magdalena, mi abuelita, porque eres in the town I live in, no eres in Hamelin, like you're not in Hamlin. But like I would talk to her and tell her that sense over and over and over again. But like, it all started from that, and I want to keep that journey alive by sharpening my Spanish to even have an even better accent tomorrow, and then possibly learning some new loves in my life. I really fell in love with Japanese, and it became more about their country and less about just I want to understand what they're saying in anime. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.